The drought is over. I'm back, and I'll hopefully be posting more videos more often, and will most definitely be finishing the How to Draw the Head course that I've been working on. But today, I wanted to go over my 2025 Sketchbook Tour. It's been a long time coming, but we're finally going to close out 2025. During 2025, I wanted to work on skills that I felt I was weak in, like storytelling and adding backgrounds to drawings. I also wanted to come up with a way to teach you guys how to draw faces. So you might recognize some of the drawings of faces and facial planes and skulls that I drew in my quote-unquote sketchbook. Some of them were test drawings and others were part of the failed attempts at recordings for videos. When I look back on it, it's crazy to see how many drawings of the head I actually did. I did also continue my attempt at learning how to use watercolor. I think I had a few aha moments in 25, and now that we are in 2026, I'm still not great at watercolor, but I'm usually not completely lost when it comes to understanding why I don't like a watercolor painting I did in hindsight. As with every other year, I practiced anatomy and proportions, but this year was the year that I realized that if I understand proportions associated with any given concept, then I'll be able to draw it from imagination, assuming I understand the basic shapes involved. So you'll see me drawing the human figures and using squares to land out points for notable landmarks. And of course, some of these proportion maps I did correspond specifically to the head. For me, learning proportion frees yourself up to make creative decisions in other areas. Luckily for me, I've had the same style for a very long time. The difficult part for me is to understand how to make my style look good. And the solution to that problem is to be cognizant about what decision I'm making while I'm drawing. Am I using soft edges or round edges? Is a character exaggerated in a specific type of way? And what type of gradients am I using? Understanding what decisions you're making at any given point helps you make better decisions in general. This is the year I drew faces. This is the year where faces were drawn. Learning to teach other people how to draw faces improved every aspect of my ability to draw faces. Because you don't really realize it, but there are so many aspects of your art that you're probably handling by guessing. Wouldn't it be amazing to have concrete solutions that you could use when you wanted to? Another thing I did a lot this year was draw from reference. Sometimes I would draw the same pose multiple times to better understand the proportions, or the pose, or the gesture, or the perspective. Sometimes I would draw from reference to better understand the anatomy. And sometimes I would spill juice on my drawings. I also drew environments and machinery from reference. As you can see, we have some rocks here, and a Soviet anti-aircraft autocannon that was a recent addition to the Polish Pilika anti-aircraft system. I like the shapes. And apparently, I really like drawing rocks. And apparently, I drew faces. So many faces. I'm not sure if I drew a ton of faces, or a lot of faces, or perhaps a plethora, but the faces were drawn, the faces were studied, and the faces were drawn again. Maybe I'll do a video about where I like to go for references. There are the obvious places like Pinterest and Pixabay, but one of my favorite places to get reference from is from old movies or TV shows. It's good because, first of all, people are acting in a somewhat natural way, but also a lot of old movies are in black and white, and that's basically an automatic value study. Also, it's always funny to see how the times have changed. For example, running cigarette ads used to be like running an ad for Sprite. There's this one brand of cigarettes from the 1940s or 1950s, and the mascot was this little kid wearing a bellboy uniform. It's just interesting to see how the times have changed. Anyway, did I mention that I took part in the act of drawing faces this year? I also drew some mech type stuff. I'm not that good at mechs, but no one really is, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Another head? You know, this is one of those things I would guess at a lot, drawing the head from the 3/4 view. But making this drawing the head course helped me improve my ability to draw heads at the 3/4 angle. It also improved my ability to render, because my style is really quirky, so I had to engage in rendering like a normal human being so that the viewer could actually understand what I was drawing. But that helped me improve my ability to render in general. Coincidentally, the next video I'm releasing in this How to Draw the Head course is on how to render. I don't think I mentioned it yet, but I drew a lot of arms. Arm anatomy is something that I feel like I have trouble mastering. Truthfully, I'm probably okay at drawing arms, and I should probably move on to learning how to draw legs or the back or Or maybe I could learn how to improve my storytelling or improving my ability to draw digitally. Maybe I could learn to draw backgrounds or get a girlfriend. But nah, let's just draw some arms some more. When I master drawing arms, I'll be ready for the next phase of life. I remember this bug thing. I think I was testing myself to see what it would look like if I drew a bug without a reference. I don't really know how I did. I never really compared it to anything after the fact. You know, there were a few times where I was drawing faces for the drawing the head course, and then I would inevitably get bored of drawing the same thing over and over, and so I just draw something random just so I could feel something. Here's an interesting sequence of heads. I wanted to draw a woman with an afro, but I didn't realize how important it was to make an interesting silhouette and control the grouping of big, medium, and small shapes. Here's hoping I don't immediately forget that lesson. Yes, this was the portion of the year where I started making drawings geared towards drawing the mouth. Mouths are cool. It seems like we have some boxing drawings. I'll allow it. I don't mind drawing from reference. I think I didn't like doing it before, but I think I got over that in 2024. And I used 2025 to take concrete steps towards improving my proportions and my understanding of the human figure by drawing from reference. This was an exercise from a Marcel Van Draw video. I think it was from his course studying the art and technique of Henrik Clay. I believe this exercise was an exercise that has to do with improvisation and creativity. More drawing for the How to Draw the Mouth video. The muzzle is full of so many organic shapes, and the form can quickly turn into nonsensical symbolic shapes. It's a good idea to simplify the shapes and use the center line of objects to control how deep each section of the form is in space. I don't necessarily think mouths are hard to draw, but like other parts of the body, drawing it is not really as intuitive as you would think, and it's worth it to take some time to really try and understand what's going on. And what's going on? I don't know, you tell me what's up. I didn't realize how many fighters I drew. It kind of makes sense because I wish that more comic illustrators would lean into their ability to create interesting fight scenes. And you know, if I could perceive that as a problem and as a desire that I have, then why not be the change I want to see in the universe? I think I drew this on my birthday. There's a lot of cake that day. And then I got tired and I needed to sleep. Clearly I had sweet dreams. At least I think that's what happened. My memory is a little fuzzy. Here's some drawings I did from reference. This is from the Saving Private Ryan movie. I haven't seen Saving Private Ryan in a long time. I didn't realize how graphic it was. I must have been like 7 years old when I watched this. It's kind of funny because out of all the shows my parents said I couldn't watch when I was little, Saving Private Ryan was cool for them, I guess. Looks like we're getting into the part of the year where I started drawing eyes for the How to Draw the Eyes video. And you know what? I don't know why I'm talking like these drawings are in any type of coherent order. I kind of just threw the drawings in a binder and then took them out for this video, in no particular order. A face here, a building there. I don't know what will show up. It's in God's hands now. Another Saving Private Ryan drawing from reference. The reason I like to draw movie scenes is because the director crops the scenes and chooses shots in a way that's compositionally pleasing. And if you can gain one skill as an artist, let that skill be the ability to have good composition. Drawing using shots from movies has the added benefit of acting as a snapshot in the story being told. You are literally telling a story with your reference drawing, and you can work on making your characters serve a narrative purpose. One thing I do want to get better at is finishing drawings. I don't necessarily think these drawings are unfinished in terms of my goals for each specific drawing, but I do want to have the discipline to finish drawings that I'm not necessarily in love with. You know what? I thought I did more watercolor than I actually did this year. Maybe I just watched a lot of watercolor videos. Either way, I've gotten better at using watercolor and gouache, but I don't think I'm where I want to be yet. Ideally, I would continue to get better at painting both characters and environments, but I guess I would need to actually spend more time painting. I think painting is a little difficult for me because it requires a lot of patience. It looks like another mouth. I thought I drew more mouths this year. It looks like all of them were hiding at the bottom of the pile. Man, how'd this get in here? I remember painting this and being pretty satisfied with it, and then I decided, hey, what if I emphasize the shadow with some pen hatching? Mistakes were made, prayers went unanswered, and here we are today. This had to be one of my first attempts at drawing the head for my Drawing the Head course. Some eyes from the How to Draw the Eye video. I know for a fact I did a bunch of these. I remember I kept on forgetting to hit the record button. And you might not know this, but most cameras don't record if you don't hit the record button. So inevitably, I had to draw things twice, or find different subject matter to draw. But whatever, I need the practice. I never noticed some of the small intricacies and proportions of the face, especially the eyes, but now I think I have a more firm grasp on it. This is from the drawing the nose video, and this is not. I don't even know what this is from. This one was from the how to draw the mouth video. You know what, I'm kind of glad that I don't remember all these drawings. That means that I drew a lot. Or maybe it just means that some of the drawings just aren't memorable. Who knows? I do remember taking the time to draw from black and white photos and practice separating the design into light and dark and mid-tone values, mainly just to improve my understanding of composition. More mouths. One can never draw too many mouths. In the future, I'm going to do a video on facial expressions, and we'll see that the mouth adds a lot of context to the different facial expressions. It's almost like we feel with our eyes, but our mouth emphasize and define the actual story behind the emotion. That sounds really poetic, Sketchy. You're like a philosopher. When is that video coming out? I don't know. It'll soon come. Actually, I can't be certain. It will come eventually. But when it does come, you'll be able to consider yourself completely tutorialized in regards to facial expressions. You can believe that. I think I'm getting near the end now. It looks like we have a bunch of noses. You can guess why I drew the noses. Man, I just realized I got this far into the video without telling you to like or subscribe. Well, you guys are adults, you can do whatever you want. I will say this though, I did enjoy having you here. I'm not the type of person that needs a lot of immediate validation from my art. I know it's a work in progress, and I'm working hard to become the type of person that appeals to my own art ideals, as well as the sensibilities of a larger community. And that's a lifelong journey. But making YouTube videos takes a lot of work here and now in this moment, and it's rewarding to see that people enjoy some of the videos that I've been putting out. All that being said, I hope you appreciated this, and as always, be safe, take care, and later days.